The world peace movement is the biggest movement in the history of the human race.
And I think that the world is in real trouble.
It's a problem on an existential scale. It actually threatens the existence of human beings on Earth.
What is happening in the world is that every single inherited value is being junked for one value, which is the pursuit of maximal profit. As simple as that.
And we must not let our governments get away with this.
We're not victims of some kind of destiny that's unfurling before us. I mean, we create.
So a kind of solidarity, actually.
So trying to see from the perspective of the other is the beginning of understanding.
Plan for peace as you plan for war. Get that idea into people's minds and they'd say, what a great idea, why didn't somebody else think of it?
Don't even express any form of anger, because it's not going to take you anywhere. It's not going to stop anything. It's not going to repair it. So change and put on a smile instead and say, can we not do things differently?
I think maybe the last 10 years or maybe the last 5 years, people, it's like the waking up of the world to what peace means. When you have it, it's just like the air. We take the air for granted. But until you cannot get it, then you realize how important it is. It's easy to blame out there and to rush out there, but peace is to come back to yourself as an individual, as a community, as a family, as a nation, then globally. Looking at our differences not as barriers, but as a celebration for us to engage with each other and to find commonalities and even to celebrate the differences in order for us to engage and find the way forward. The beauty of the world is not the fact that we're all one, but the fact that we are different. That's what makes the world beautiful. So peace requires you to think differently. It's not about just generating more resources, but it is the how of building relationships. So the how of building relationship is what we are running away from. We need to come back to there.
Peace is something which we tend to recognize as almost a negativity, as an absence. It's the absence of war. It's when nothing's happening. So it's almost boring. We see it as a state of idleness.
The human race now are like survivors in a lifeboat with one loaf of bread. And if you have one loaf of bread in a lifeboat, there are three ways of distributing it. Either you sell it so the rich gobble it up, or you fight for it so the strong get it all, or you divide it and share it. And that is the choice for the human race. And it's a huge political choice. And it ought to be on the agenda when we discuss anything, so we can fit our daily lives into that pattern and understand the relationship of what we do to what the outcome of that might be.
And that means equity, a sharing of wealth. It means giving up some of our own interests, because they are, if we pursue those interests to the end, the people who will suffer will be us, we ourselves. We've already started to see the backlash of some of our policies with the terrorism.
I have 10 grandchildren, and when I look at the lives that they're going to lead, they're going to live in a period of history absolutely unique, when the weapons of mass destruction were available in such a way as the human race could actually be obliterated. On the other hand, first generation in history where the technology and the money is available, and if it was applied to solve the world's problems, it could, I won't say resolve them immediately, but you could provide a sort of basic global health service, drugs available, housing and education. That is the choice.
If you were to ask people 100 years ago, could Europe ever have a lasting peace? They would have laughed. The idea that France and Germany would stop bashing each other up, or Britain and France, or Britain and Germany, or Spain and the Netherlands, or any one of these nations and factions within nations will all decide that they were going to stop fighting. And that instead of having perpetual war, which was pretty well the case up until 1945 within Europe, we would have, well, so far it's been 60 years of peace, and not just peace, but also union, economic union, political union. It would have been an unthinkable idea. And if that was possible within Europe, there's absolutely no reason why it should not be possible at the global level.
And we found that if we ignore that, if we turn our backs on the world and remain in a first world bubble of privilege, as the Bush administration tried to do before September the 11th, that world will now come to us in a distorted and terrible way.